What have we got here, Henry?
Yeah, this is a two-piece Shrew bow, a classic 102 with 54 inches, and I call this a breakdown system. I'm traveling a lot, and also for bow hunting, I need to take the bow with me in the plane, and this is made by our master bowyer from Bodnik bows, and it's fitting perfect, and it's working perfectly.
And what is in that riser block there?
Yeah, the riser block is made out of micarta. Basically, we build the bow as a one-piece bow, then we cut him apart in two pieces, and we wrap glass fiber material around in two, three different processes to rebuild the handle and the breakdown system. So now I have the handle made out of micarta. We have here some nice accent stripes with action wood, and I have glass fiber here. That's the breakdown system.
Now, what's the price point on this?
So a regular one-piece bow is $750, and the breakdown, the two-piece bow, is $980.
Which is very comparable to any other custom. And me personally, you can see here that I like a breakdown bow because I don't really care for a three-piece in most cases because
Yeah.
I'm not good at keeping track of my tools,
Yeah, yeah.
and I find that they shoot, and I haven't shot these, but at least in all my experience of the socket style handle, they shoot like a one piece,
Absolutely,
and
100%.
you don't have to worry about it. And so, me personally,
Yeah, you should try and shoot one of these bows, and even right now, you don't see even that it's a two-piece bow.
yeah, it doesn't look like it because you've got it flushed up so good here. And they are just so impressive. And even though this is action wood,
Yeah,
but it is a high quality enough action wood that it looks like an exotic veneer, and especially like you can pay a hell of a lot of money
yeah,
in an exotic wood riser, but in a short riser, it's like you're wasting half the block anyways. There's no point in it.
yeah.
But I
So
think that it's a very
we have
interesting system.
we have the need to using a wood like this. For example, when you see this wood here, it's also some kind of action wood. We call this save the rainforest wood because Nicaragua, Cocobolo in Europe, it's not anymore legal to get it because it's at the red list. This veneer and also the riser wood is made out of laminated, out of plantation birch, and it's colored, dyed that it looks like the real exotic wood. So we have natural material. That's wood, that's birch, and it's called Save the Rainforest wood. And that's the same here. This is ebony imitation, Makassar ebony imitation, nicely dark, but it's birch. Save the
That way,
rainforest.
yeah, that way we're not depleting the natural
Absolutely.
stores because yes, it is nice to have the actual, but like Gaboon is almost extinct and you can just polish G10.
Yes.
Well, first off, I've been shooting a bow since I was about 6 years old, and just been infatuated with archery and shooting bows all my life. And in 1980, I decided I wanted to go into business and start selling bows. So I did, and then well, I don't know, a few years later, then I decided to develop my own line of bows. I wanted to, back then bows were long, like 66, 68, 70-inch bows. And I tried to hunt with those out of tree stands and brush blinds and stuff, and I found they were always hanging up. They were too long, so I wanted something short. So I got with this guy from down south in uh, Virginia, actually, and I told him, I said, I'm looking for somebody to build bows for me. And I said, I want something short. And I said, I think we're going to need, as short as I want, we're going to need something with a forward handle to get the hand forward. So that's how the original Shrew started. And I think it was sometime in the early 90s when I introduced the Shrew into Traditional Bowhunter magazine as the world's shortest longbow. Nobody was making bows that short. And we were making 52 and 54-inch bows. And that was unheard of. People, all short bows stack, they're unstable, blah, blah, blah. So I went on for a few years, and then Gene Wenzel wanted to try one. So Gene gets a Shrew bow, and he goes out and he kills a huge buck. And he called the bow the ultralight fly rod of traditional archery or something like that. And he said, that's all you ever need, and went on and on and on. So, and he said, you can use, and he sent me this picture. Said, you can use this for advertising. So I did. I put it in the magazine. Well, then that let people start, if Gene said it's okay, I'll try it. So it just kind of grew from there. And the story of the short bow being unstable and stacking got knocked into a cocked hat because that wasn't happening with this bow. So we sold a lot of those bows for several years until I got with a friend of mine, John McCullough, who was from Michigan here. Told John, I said, I got this Shrew bow. I said, but I got an idea for a different bow. I want to call it the Super Shrew. So John and I developed what we call the Super Shrew, which is basically what we've got here now as far as riser and handle design. So we got going with that, and then John made bows for me for a few years, and then I went through a couple other bowyers, and finally I met up with Henry Bodnik from Germany, and I had Henry up to my deer camp. And Tim Cosgrove kept saying, you ought to get Henry to build bows for you. And I said, I don't want bows built out of the country. I want bows to be built in the country. But I met Henry up to deer camp. We had a week together to sit down and talk about bows. And I had a bow to show him. I said, now this is the way I want this grip's got to be just like this. It's got to be no variations. This is it right here. The limbs are got to be like this. The tips have got to be like this. And I was very specific about what I wanted. And he's writing all this down. He goes back home to Germany. And that was in November. And then the following January, he shows up here at this show last year with 30 bows. And they were perfect. It blew me away. I said, I can't believe that this guy picked this up. I said, usually it takes me 6 months to get a guy to get it right, But Henry got it right off the bat. And now that, we talk more about it, and now it keeps evolving. But with the Super Shrew 2 now, we've incorporated the new limb that's got more muscle in it, and it makes the bow smoother, and it gives it more speed, and it's a little dynamo, and people are loving it. So
Oh, I like it.
yeah.
I mean, I got a chance to shoot 2 of them, and I mean, they're really nice. Well, for a bow that isn't actually mine, I am like instantly super impressed with this Siberian Tiger Shrew recurve. So we're going to make it weird here, and I'm going to shoot with a thumb draw Mongolian style. Well, at least I ended on a high note.
You gotta get the hang of it.
I could probably get pretty good at it.